Welcome back to The Goodness Habit, where joy is a muscle and we're learning how to flex it. I'm your host, Hannah, and I'm so glad you're here. Let me start by painting you a picture. It's late afternoon, someone needs a snack, someone else is crying, dinner isn't done, and you can feel it happening. That shift, your chest tightens, your breathing gets a little shallow, and your thoughts get louder. And your brain says, I cannot do this today. You're about 10 seconds away from snapping. Most moms think the problem is the situation, the noise, the mess, the never-ending needs, the never-ending asks. But that's not actually what's happening. What's happening is internal, and your brain has hit the panic button. Remember how we talked about your brain having a built-in alarm system or a threat detector? It's always scanning for problems. And when it finds one, it doesn't just notice it. It zooms in, it amplifies it, it makes it feel really urgent. All your attention and focus is on it. Now, that's not always a bad thing. If there's a true threat to your survival happening, then you want that. But in modern-day motherhood, most of the time, it's not an actual threat to your life. It's just dinner's running late, you're overwhelmed. So many people need something from you. So as that quote-unquote threat amplifies, it starts to sound like everything is falling apart and I can't handle it. And that's the spiral. And once it starts, it builds super fast. Most people try to think their way out of it, telling yourself to calm down, it's not a big deal, or just be patient. I have an episode exactly about why telling yourself to calm down doesn't work. Now, the problem is that your thinking brain, so your prefrontal cortex that houses all of the logic and the reasoning, that is offline when that threat detector goes off. So in order to calm that little bugger down, we need to calm our body down and let our brain know, hey, it's safe, I'm okay. 2 weeks ago, I talked about using distraction as an excellent way to do that. And if your mind starts spiraling at night, right before you go to bed, again, distraction, but in the way of imagery, works excellent to help you fall asleep. Now we're taking it one step further with microprayers, because who can help us interrupt that spiral more than Jesus? Microprayers is a way to integrate God throughout your entire day. We're not talking about long, perfect prayers. We're not talking about a quiet time, not having it all together. This is talking to God in the moment, on the go. You keep it short, you keep it honest, it's right in the middle of the chaos, and it pulls your focus out of the spiral and back to what's actually true. It sounds like, God, help me right now. I can't do this, God, but you can. Be with me in this moment. It's also acknowledging who God is to put everything in perspective. God, you are the Almighty. God, you have a plan for this. God, you turn things for good. And that's it. No perfect words, no pressure. And it's going to take practice, but that is exactly what our brain loves. Our brain learns from practice. And if you've never done microprayers before, it is going to feel a little bit weird. And you might even feel like this is not working at all. Like I don't feel anything different. I encourage you to stick with it because it will inevitably strengthen your relationship with God. He will begin to change your heart and your mind, and all you need to do is acknowledge His presence. But honestly, sometimes that's the hardest part because we're so busy with our days. But that's exactly why I love microprayers. Sometimes I think praying has this stigma of, it has to be in a quiet environment, in a prayer closet, or it has to be a certain length and you have to say certain things. That certainly has a time and a place. I'm not disrespecting any of that. In fact, I love that. I just have a hard time incorporating that into my life. So that's why I try to talk to God on the go, whether I'm spiraling or not, whether the issue at hand is small or big. A few weeks ago, I went to Aldi to get my groceries, and I was leaving the store. I went to my car with my cart, and I was unloading all my groceries and was about to take the cart back to the cart line in front of the store. And this older gentleman had just parked his car near me. And I said, oh, hey, do you need a cart? Now at Aldi, they do a quarter in, a quarter back. So you have to take 25 cents in order to get a cart at the front of the store. And then once you're done, you go and take it back and you get your quarter back. I guess this guy didn't have a quarter because when I gave him the cart, he said, oh, thank you so much. You're an answer to my prayers. And I kind of laughed it off and I was like, okay, sure thing. My brain kind of glitched and I was like, what did he just say? I don't know. But then as I got into my car and drove away, I thought, wow, he really prayed for a grocery cart. You can shop at the store without a grocery cart, but that's super annoying. So he must have prayed, God, bring me someone who would be willing to give me their grocery cart. And my gut reaction was, oh, that seems a little silly. But why not pray for the grocery cart when you don't have a quarter to get one yourself? We don't need to filter our prayers. I wonder if sometimes we unintentionally add the filter because we think it's just too small an ask. When we're at our limit, when we're dealing with a really hard life circumstance, it seems obvious to ask for prayer requests and to pray really hard. But why not the small things too? The small things are going to happen so many more times than the big things. So if we can talk to God about the small things, we're naturally going to have more of Him throughout our day, so that when we encounter the big things, whether it's a situation or where we're feeling so stressed and overwhelmed that we're going to lose it, it's going to feel really natural to talk to God and to turn to Him. So I know I originally started this episode with that, I'm about to lose it moment, but think about micro prayers in the context of your entire day. If you're enjoying the Goodness Habit podcast, I'd love it if you'd rate the show wherever you're listening. Thanks so much, my friend, and don't ever forget, not every day is good, but there is good in every day.